Okay. Grand Rising, everyone. This is Ron. It is Sunday morning, May 11th, and a little chill in the air in the upstate, but it feels good. Feels good. Uh, I hope things are well where you are. See if we have any questions so far, and go from there. I have a couple of things that Pastor gets on I'd like to discuss. He mentioned something yesterday that I'd like some
I'm
further.
on.
Okay, how are you, sir? Good morning.
I'm
Grand
good.
Rising, excuse me.
Grand Rising. I'm good.
Uh, I was asking about questions, and I didn't know if maybe you have something you'd like to lead into this morning. If not, I had something. I just but do you have
No,
anything?
you no, you go ahead.
Um, you Pastor and I were discussing something earlier, and we've talked about shaping things and not shaping things or getting in the way, and there's something that I'm guilty of. The thing that I am guilty of is I can't see what the creator is doing or know how things are supposed to turn out or whatever. You just do what you're supposed to do and be who you're supposed to be and let that be enough. And uh, I've never thought anything positive about a pope, a Catholic pope. But if you look at things, what if he is supposed to be instrumental in this journey that we're taking? Because that's all I'm interested in, really, is the journey that we're taking and the influences that it's supposed to have. So I'm guilty of the fact that I have kind of dismissed that whole process because I did not think it had any relevance on what we are doing. And I think I'm in error with that and looking at things that way. I think that's a bit narrow-minded and even maybe even a bit naive if you look at things from a totally, looking at things from a spiritual perspective. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I think by not paying attention to that or dismissing it, that it is a form of trying to manage things. And any thoughts on that at all? Have you done something similar with some of the other things that we see going on? Because sometimes I think we can get in our own way. We ask for something or we try to do something and we can get in our own way. Anyway,
I, when it comes to that, Ron, I think we've been talking out of both sides of our mouth and not realizing because we talk about how the creator used Donald Trump and the energy, right?
yes,
And then we turn around and talk about things like, well, um, the Pope is the leader of Christianity, and we don't find much in that at all, right?
okay,
If anything. And then, but then the Pope just can be used just like Donald Trump. And I don't mean used in terms of a malicious way,
right,
but I'm talking about from him can come things that are necessary to bring us to this place of balance. Um, if it can be done through the negative energy of this administration, well, let me say perverted energy instead of negative. Okay,
yes,
if it can be done through the perverted energy of this administration, then there are opportunities for it to be done through energies from other people that is not perverted. One of the things that came to me when we had the discussion yesterday about the, uh, the Pope having roots in Haiti and and being have African ancestry. That says to me that the Pope has melanin, and that also says to me that if the Pope has melanin, then there's a strong affinity for having a mindset of a Babylon as opposed to a European mindset. And I think that we have um, the authority to penetrate that, meaning we have the authority to put in the macro our desire for the European principles that the Pope has been reared with and taught would be altered to benefit humanity by virtue of having a greater affinity for the melanin, even if he does not understand that it's the melanin that's given him this affinity for humanity in a real way and not just verbal. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. It does indeed.
So when we talk about the creator, she can do whatever she chooses and use whomever she chooses in order to bring balance to her children. You know.
Yes.
Any questions or comments about that?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Reb into the group just based on the question that Ron asked about he doesn't understand what the creator is doing, and this is just my experience. I never focus in on what the creator is doing. I focus in on what I'm doing as a creator, and myself as a creator. I'm a compelling creator, a riveting creator. So anything you give me, it's gonna multiply, it's gonna create, and it's gonna touch people's soul. So now that's just my experience. I give attention to the energy that made me, yet I never question it. When someone says, George, we waiting, man, and we ain't making no money. Man, we may be waiting for a good thing. You don't know what's around that corner. Yet I do give attention to other creators. A creator that says all the correct things at the correct time and don't say nothing correct at the wrong time, I kind of keep my eye on him or her. So just as a suggestion to you, Ron, you're a creator. And if you're focusing on what the creator is doing, in essence, you are bringing someone in to that kind of energy. Focus on, just give attention, just as a suggestion now. I'm a creator. What are the things I need to work on or what are the things I need to do to bring balance? Thank you very much.
I would like to address that because I think because I'm the one who brought this up about she does what she chooses. And the way I would like to address that is by saying that I recognize wholeheartedly that we are creators. I recognize that I am a creator. But what I have chosen to create is the space for the ancestors, for the cosmic mother to guide me as I create, because I know that my thoughts can be contentious at times. My desires has been more detrimental in terms of being more racist than they should, not racist, I'm sorry, more hatred than it should have been for the people who enslaved us. I, as a result of my understanding that this European mindset is also a part of who I am, and having the desire to be totally um, in totally split, having the desire to be totally focused on the balance of humanity and the unicity of all people. Uh, I know that if that is to be in a pure way, it is going to have to be done through the cosmic mother slash ancestors because of that contamination. So on my part, I have totally relinquished that. I don't have free will anymore because I don't really know how to use it in a powerful, beneficial way without having setbacks. Thank you. Questions, comments?
And I guess along with that, what I was saying and trying to say anyway, uh, looking at Europeans and some of the, you know, Christianity religions in the past have not been friendly in the path that we're taking. Historically, I have not seen a lot in favor of the Catholic Church as far as helping people of color. And I'm sure, you know, that there have been some things in the past that have been done, but overall, their agenda has not been love and kindness and freedom for everybody. So this whole thing, I kind of dismissed it, and I agree with what Pastor is saying. It's like how dare you is what I kind of say to myself. You don't you by now should know your insight is not that keen that you can see what is going on. So trust it. Just trust what you see and do what you're supposed to do is the conclusion that I've come to.
Well, I came to the conclusion years ago about relinquishing my free will. When it comes to the Pope, what brought me to this conclusion that I have now is my understanding that my hearing rather from the ancestors that um, we are not to look at people. We're not to look at their. We're not to look at their labels. We're to look at their actions, and that came to me when the Pope was appointed or chosen. And I didn't at the moment it didn't make that much sense to me. But then when I began to look into the background of the Pope, then I understood what was being said. Uh, and when we look at it, what I'm trying to see, formally, I see it in my soul. That I'm seeing is that whether it be overt racism, uh, or whether it be overt religious bondage, from either one of those, the Creator uh, can bring light. And what I mean by that is bring a discerning. Because if we had not been shown um, what we are experiencing now through this the energy of this administration, most people will not even care about what needs to be changed or changing things. And just like with this Pope being appointed, I never thought about anything positive coming from a Pope in terms of true, genuine care for humanity. Uh, I um, I believe that we can we can receive from anyone that the Creator chooses to put before us. I also believe that the wisdom of the Cosmic Mother, especially during this period, is so strong until it's going to be very, very difficult to combat the journey that we are on for peace and harmony. I think the efforts that uh, that will be put forth, that is being put forth to stop this, is not going to happen. And I see it in so many different ways. I see that we are closer to harmony than we have ever been. And I see it in ways that seemingly are minor, and some of them appear to be major. For example, one of the things that, and I say this a lot because I do believe that this is a focal point for us, one of the focal points anyway. Uh, I saw where Korea was sending 700, North Korea was sending 700 special forces soldiers to Burkina Faso to guard Ibrahim. So that has never happened before. The things that are taking place uh, in in um, in West Africa have not happened like this before, and it does not elude me the reality that we were taken from from West Africa, primarily from West Africa, and and it does not um, elude me the reality that we are the ones who are still connected to those who from whom we were stolen. And I believe that our energy is piercing the darkness so that the wisdom of change can be seen, especially in that area of West Africa. Not saying that it does not include South Africa or any other parts of Africa, but I'm talking about that focal point in West Africa, just like it was with Nkrumah, just like it was with Lumumba, Central Africa. I believe that this is being done for a reason, and I believe that the manifestation of balance is being seen through the balance of Africans in the diaspora, as well as those who support um, the journey towards the journey to balance. I'm done. Questions or comments? Thank you. I hope I'm not rambling.
This is Vermel. Um, this is how it summed up what Ron and Sage were just saying to me, and just guide me along the way, please. Um, Out of all the what I would call the craziness, the chaos, we're not to that anything can be used to bring a manifest the balance and harmony we're seeking. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in that, the moments when I feel like I want to shape it to go a certain way, I need to chillax and let it take its own shape because I don't know where mine's going to take it anyway, or if it's going to affect it even worse.
It won't, Jamil. Jamil, what will happen if we try to shape it? It won't. I don't think you can make it any worse, but I think it's make you worse.
Okay.
It put you in a state of confusion. It put you in a state of anxiety. It will put you in a space where you feel like you're all alone and nothing is changing, and it's all because of you.
I could
Um, Go ahead, babe.
I could see that. That's like I want to say I can feel it. It's like you'll be I would be just swinging at the air with eyes closed, not knowing what I'm doing. That's the
Right.
confusion it would cause in me.
Yes.
I could see that.
Right.
Thank you.
It, it, that's a reason for one yet many. There's a reason for that. No man is an island. It's a reality. We are one or we are nothing. The idea of us being one yet many is not speaking to simply the spiritual essence of who we are. The many is how we um, are housed in these bodies. That's the many. The one is the spiritual. So when we are when we recognize that we are Elohim, or we are the creator, having spiritual experience and physical experience rather in these bodies, that's the meaning. And what has taken place is the reason all of us have different thoughts and different approaches to things, different affinity for things, is that it gives us the opportunity to become one by virtue of recognizing, for lack of a better example, that we are piece of a universal puzzle. We are a piece of a spiritual puzzle. And when our desires are focused in the same direction, it's like we are moving into that space that we fit in, so we can do what we have been chosen or appointed to do. And what I mean by that is Ron's approach to things are different than ours. Ours is different than Kathy. Kathy's different than Linda's. Linda's different than George. So I'm saying that, but all these pieces to this puzzle, when we come together, it becomes one focus. Am I making sense?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much for me with the
Okay.
puzzle
So
term.
okay. So it becomes one focus. But even with that, there are still the many, which are the pieces, right? Someone's about to say something.
Yes, this is Sheldon. I wanted to take your analogy further. So with the one but many, you think about the cell and all the cells in the body. And if we can think of all of us as cells as part of the one whole, the creator, each cell is focused on only what it's doing. Then simultaneously, all the numerous infinite number of cells are also working towards a goal as well. But you're only concerned with your focus in terms of trying to shape something. Rather, I hope helps at least a little for someone. Instead of focusing on the how, which is trying to force something is doing, is instead focus on what the goal is, and in a sense meditate on that goal, the vision, what you see, not the how. It is the end result. So each cell is in a sense working for a healthy, properly functioning body in a sense, but not on so much of the how, but only its role. It's focused on this role, and it's also focused on the result of the bigger goal, healthy functioning body, for a lack of a better word. We could say so much more about that. But it's more so meditation on the goal. The focus is on the goal, the end result, things that we talk about and we desire every week. That particular in a sense, when you start working on the how, it's almost not only doubting yourself, but you start to doubt the creator as well, thinking that the creator needs help, or in a sense, I don't see how this is going to happen. How can we make this happen? What do we need? That
Yeah.
focus
I,
is on results.
I'm sorry,
Because,
Sheldon. What were you doing?
yeah, I'm sorry.
I love your analogy there with the cells, because what the part that we hadn't mentioned is uh by not focusing or doing what you're supposed to do as the cell I'm responsible for, you slow things down, you prolong things, and we wonder why things, maybe because I still believe it is the energy of the African that makes this whole thing turn, this whole thing go. So when we lose focus of who we are, we take it in a direction that is beyond our scope of control. Uh, we slow things down and we move it in a different direction than it is supposed to be. We're being counterproductive, I think,
It
anyway.
is because when you were
I
just
agree.
talking, I agree as well. When you were just saying that we are counterproductive, I'm just thinking about a random cell, let's say in the heart, and then the heart, when the best thing that it can do is be a heart cell.
Hmm.
It's not good and not great. Don't we know much about being a cell of the liver? And for that cell to be the best that it can be, it's not thinking at all about the cell in the liver. It doesn't even exist. Its function, what it is, the role that it plays in the creation, and we're going to make it to a body, the creation of that body, is that of the operation of the heart.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, focus on what it is that we're supposed to do. There is no other us. We are the best and the perfect us. There is going to be no other perfect us. That is our focus. And as we do what we're supposed to do, we focus on going back to the body, the proper function of the body functioning properly as it relates to creation and not forcing things. What it is that we want to see in the earth, it then changes into what we want to, what we are experiencing in the earth, and we experience that first spiritually, and experiencing that from within spiritually actually pushes that outward. Things are created spiritually before they actually manifest physically. Finish.
Thank you. Um, that I think that speaks to what we were talking about a few weeks ago. That we have to be on the same page. We have to embrace um, what resonates with us, even if we can't articulate it verbally. We have to embrace our experiences because we must be that one entity on this one journey whose desire is for peace and harmony. Period. And that mindset of vocabulary being primary has to be our focal point. And and I guess what I'm trying to say is this: is that we are pieces. If we are pieces of the puzzle on this broadcaster's phone, then that means that we have to become one. All the pieces has to be brought together in one space. Does that make sense? I, I don't see how we could even function, especially as teachers, presenters, if we are unable to function in that space of unicity. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that we are functioning in that space, and that is shown simply by um, the way we approach things. Right now, any one of us can pick up where we are and carry further the discussion. You may present it differently, but it would be the same things that we're talking about. So that tells me that we are on the same page. But it also tells me, too, that there are times that we have to pull ourselves back because we do have interludes with what's happening around us. We have issues that happens around us. Would you make sure your phones are muted, please? We have issues that happens around us that we have to deal with, and and when we have those issues that we have to deal with, we have to remind ourselves of who we are. You know, does that make sense? We have to remind ourselves. But the key to it is not walking around saying, "Oh, I did this wrong, I did that wrong," or "I wanted this the right thing to see what to do." No, live your life. Live your life. Your paramount desire is to be who you were created to be, and that's Elohim. So don't beat yourself up when you make mistakes or when you feel like you're not um, where you should be. Because usually when you feel like you're not where you should be, you are indeed where you should be. I'm done.
Hey, Pastor. It's George Jones from Philly, because the thing I'm looking at, his he was the 14th Pope. So I wonder what that represents.
The what now? I didn't get it, Charles.
They said that he was the 14th Pope, and I wonder what's that represent in the number.
No, he's not the
What's the
14th.
spirit about the number?
He's not the 14th. There have been far more than 14 popes.
He's Leo the 14th.
Leo the 14th. Okay, that's where you're getting the 14th from. He named himself after Leo the 14th, who was the previous pope. And George get the number is 5, which is what grace.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. This is GC in Philly. The number 5 spiritually represents manifestation. And in the manifestation, it talks about, the spirit essence of the number 5 aligns to freedom, and the freedom to pursue that which fills your heart with purposeful joy and bliss. And it talked about the importance of 5 is a doing number, representing faith in action, but having a mindful connection to the synergy of the forces of nature. And as I, was meditating, on the Pope's first response, was talking about the peace for everyone. And so in terms of realizing the significance, where I truly feel that he has a desire to bring about harmony in reference to bringing healing, to, our universe. But those are my thoughts. But the number 5 is the number of manifestation, which deals with, the air, deals with water, fire, deals with the elements, Charles, if that resonates. I'm done.
Yes, that resonates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His first presentation today was calling for peace in Gaza and in Ukraine. And I don't know what that means yet. I really don't. But I'm sure we will see in the coming days and hear more about that. He also, I want to see if anyone can look at the astrological sign of Leo and in conjunction with the number 5. Is there anyone who sees anything in that? Okay. Well, that's something that we probably can look at a later date. Any other questions or comments about anything?
Pastor, I do. Go ahead. How are you?
Just a quick thing, Charles. I was remembering you said that when you were talking about Traore, you said Burkina Faso means the land of the upright people, something
Yeah,
like that.
I looked it up last night. It does, but it means more than that. Also, let me see.
But
if I can-
the point I wanted to make was that Ron, your book, the Spirit of Intimacy, that woman is from Burkina Faso.
Okay. Yeah, she is.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Thomas Sankara, the one who was assassinated when the coup was, he was overthrown in Burkina Faso. He's the one who changed the name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, which translates as the land of honest, upright, incorruptible people. I think that the energy of that is what brought um, Ibrahim to the space where he is now. Because in between Thomas Sankara and Ibrahim, there was a dictator who had overthrown Sankara. I think that this speaks volumes, not just about Burkina Faso, but about us as a people being honest and upright, being incorruptible. That is absolutely necessary in order for us to experience what we are seeking to experience. And when I think about incorruptible, I'm also talking about spiritually incorruptible as well. And being honest with ourselves and being and at all times standing for righteousness. Well, right? Were you about to say something?
Oh, no, no.
You muted. Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Anyone else?
I got two. I got two questions now. There.
Okay.
What you just said a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I read that in Peter. First Peter and 2 or 3. Anyway, getting back to my other question. I don't know how far y'all went yesterday in Psalm 8. The question I have on the Psalm of the 8th verse, 8th chapter, it's at it's at in 8. The bird of the heavens and the fish of the sea, whatever passes through this path of the sea. Now, do that have any correlation with the Israelite when God parted the sea and they walked on dry land? Do that have anything correlate with that?
I don't see anything that correlates with that. I don't. However, I think it was was it 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago that we went through all of those. And then I think that's the ninth verse. We went through all of those.
Yes,
I don't have my notes with me at all
Okay.
to look at those things because it was it meant so much. I had to make notes about it, and I've not had a chance to read it since I made the note. Once I read it, I'll remember all of it, but I haven't read them yet.
Okay.
All right. Is there anyone who wants to speak to that?
And I think we did say this part. I don't remember all the details, but metaphorically, all of this is talking about us. Uh, this is I hate to use the word internal, but there's nothing you can go through that you're not prepared for. There's nothing that can happen that you see you consider to be external of you that can happen that you're not prepared for because you are the universe. And when you start seeing things externally, it takes on a different view and you lose your focus. But the sheep, the oxen, the beast of the field, all of this is you. There is nothing that you are not ruled over. You don't have not only rule over, you have compassion for. You have compassion for. So the birds of the heaven. No, there's no thoughts that can come to you. There's no amount of enlightenment that can overtake you. There is nothing that's mysterious to you, especially if we rely, as has been stated earlier, Pastor Ann Sheldon said, uh, the relationship that we have with each other. Nothing should be able to overtake us. So that's what I'm getting from this, Charles, and that's what I got. Part of what I got, because a lot was said about this. Nothing should be totally surprising to us that we are when we recognize how wonderfully and marvelously we're made and what we are, that this is we are spiritual beings and the universe is a spiritual thing, then you cannot be overtaken. So that's part of what I got from it. All of these animals represent a thought in that direction. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is Audrey. I think it's also talking about as above, so below in all of those verses. Like we said, in verse 6, I guess, the hands and the feet.
Mm-hmm.
The hands represent spiritual authority, and the feet represents authority over earthly things. I think it's another way of saying that same thing when you talk about the birds in the air and the fish in the sea. So we have authority above and below, spiritually and earthly.
And if I may say also, Audrey, and what you just mentioned in verse 9, when it says, O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. How excellent is your name in all the earth. Elohim, how excellent is your name in all the earth. And that's the glory of who we are. How excellent is our name in all the earth and the power that we have. I just want to share those thoughts. Thanks.
Really, when we really think about it, everything that we need is already in us. If the skin that we have is the same skin that the first person on earth had, that being the case, then the same principles that the first person on earth had, we have them also. The principles that were given through Mayat for our for unity and peace on the earth. All of that's within is in us, and that has been expressed through us for as long as we have existed. In a scene in some of what we seem to be some of the simplest ways, and that is the power in forgiveness. But not only the power in forgiveness, but also it is seen through our empathy for other people, regardless of how they have approached us or dealt with us. It is also seen in our desires to strengthen our community ties, all of these things. The idea of family reunion came from a desire to reestablish family structures and community after slavery. So what I'm saying in essence is that the same principles that permeated the hearts of the Kemetic priesthood are in us as well. The same desires, the same energies of them are in us as well. So all we have to do is open ourselves to it. And when we open ourselves to it, the Creator will reveal these things to us. And if you really think about quite a bit, probably 97% of what we talk about, we don't have a script. We don't have anything, any depth, any deep research that we used to do in the past. It comes to us because it's in us. It's who we are. Does that make sense? We see things because that's who we are. And rather than saying, well, you see things because you're intelligent. No. you see things because that's who you are. This is not based upon some academic exercise. This is based upon a spiritual desire to be expressive of the essence of who you are, not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of all of those in your immediate environment, as well as those who are in the global environment. This is our quest just to become aware. So when we become aware of who we are, we also become aware of all that is, because we are all that is in these bodily structures. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
It does.
Any questions? Thank you. Any questions about that?
I guess
Pick up.
what came to mind while you were speaking is reestablishing the role of the priest, uh, bringing, putting that back on focus on the people and what is best for all of mankind, rather than what it has changed into the last several hundred years, I suppose.
Say that again, Ron.
Reestablishing the original role of the priest rather than what it appears to be nowadays.
I see that vividly because what we have, when we think about how we talked about ancestors and the things that we talk about, we see them come to fruition, and we hear the terms that we use being spoken of. That means that our words are traveling on our breath, which is spirit, and that is true. Um, that is one method of influence that we have encapsulated, that we have become aware of, and it's very powerful. So I can see that very clearly. You know what else?
Um, Guess I got 1,000 questions today. But you mentioned something yesterday that I can't get out of my mind. I'm trying to, because I think I heard what you said, but I think it means more. You mentioned Gaddafi was killed because he could not complete the task that he was trying to do. And I think that I don't know why I think there's more to it than that. I think there's another layer to it or something. I don't know. Do you see anything more in that, or could you go over that again? I understood what we said yesterday, and I agree with it.
What I was saying is that he couldn't do it. I'm not saying that he was killed because of that. He was killed for something totally different, and that is simply because he had given up his nuclear weapons and he was vulnerable. However, um, I'm saying that the deliverance and the stability of Africa had to come from the African. And I'm also saying that even though he had a heart for what's happening in Burkina Faso, what, what he had a heart for that because he had melanin, and but he's also an Arab, and Arabs are invaders, and invaders are not able to deliver those who are and have been enslaved through physical means, economics, or other means. The enslaved person frees itself so it can free the world, especially the African. So the more that I see on that speaks volumes to the reason that we exist in this earth. And our existence in this earth is for the benefit of all of humanity. And that's what we're beginning to see develop on the continent, as opposed to it being developed in this country, being exported to the continent. It's coming the other way. I hope that makes sense, Ron.
It does. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Any other questions about that? Did we mention who we were talking about? Gaddafi.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to be sure we did, because I don't want anybody wondering who we were talking about. Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Are we done?
Thank you. There are no more questions or comments. I would like to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are mothers, and actually all of you are mothers, to be honest with you. So Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Audrey.
No, I was just gonna say the same. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Thank you. Okay. If there are no more questions or comments, then I suppose we will end it here and see each other tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you,
Enjoy
everyone.
the rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Love you guys.
Much
Thank
love.
you,
Love you all.
everyone. Bye-bye.